Hey everybody, it's Eric Holmgren, your ambassador at large for the Placentia Chamber of Commerce, and today I am with Marcus Bowman with Sci-Fi Networks. How are you doing today, Marcus?
Well, glad to be
Good,
here. Hey.
good. I'm glad to see you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved with this project here in beautiful Placentia?
Oh, well, listen, if we want to go all the way back, I'm born and raised in Wisconsin. Then we speed and fast forward to going to school at Cal State Fullerton,
Okay,
staying in the area, and just really looking to work in the community, outreach, development, engagement. And I've bounced around doing a few different industries with finance and teaching, but it ultimately led me back into working with the community and into this community relations role with Sci-Fi Networks.
okay. And what did you study over at Cal State Fullerton?
Well, I studied communications,
Okay.
more specifically, argumentation and rhetoric and organizational communication. So
Oh,
a
very
lot of
cool.
arguing over there.
Well, hopefully you have none in your current position, right?
Well, listen, from all the arguing, I became better at solving problems, which led me to this position.
Ah, very good. Okay. Sort of a little jujitsu move there.
Yeah.
Good. Well, good. So tell me a little bit about Fiber City and Sci-Fi Networks.
Okay, so Placentia FiberCity is the project for the city of Placentia where we lay an open fiber optic network through all the public streets in Placentia, bringing you a faster, more effective internet experience. Also, that competition, challenges the pricing, so it works out for the city so that everyone has options for fiber, and it also works out for each individual resident because now they're not stuck with one particular provider or two. They can say, "Hey, we have options. What have you done for me lately? Let's talk price. Let's talk speed."
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. And so I'm not all that technically savvy. What's the difference between fiber and what, I guess, cable or some of the other different things? So what's a benefit of fiber?
Fiber is the fastest form of internet connections that we have right now. It's running through a glass network, so it's basically delivering it at the speed of light. It also delivers symmetrical speed. So a lot of people are used to hearing, hey, we have 200, 300, 500 megabits in terms of download, and then it's slowing when it's going to upload. When we're dealing
Oh,
with fiber, you're dealing with symmetrical. So if we're offering a gig, which is really the kind of buzzword right now, it's 1,000 down and 1,000 up as well. So when people start thinking, hey, it's me at home now with this smart TV and all the apps on that, and my kids on their, Nintendo Switch or the Roku or the whatever you have, Amazon Fire Stick, everything's pulling from the internet now. We have to find ways to speed that up and better disperse it around the household so that everyone's having a better experience. And someone who came from that background of teaching, I think anyone who pushed through the pandemic, who was teaching at home, or
right.
who had a home business experience what it was like when they had too much drag on the internet. So now the whole push is to speed it up.
Okay. So with fiber, it's the fastest current way
Mhm.
of both upload and download
Yep.
speeds. And so with people, if they're going to have that, then at what stage are we at? Here we are, end of February 2023. What stage is the project at where are people able to start accessing it, or is that going to be coming a little later?
It's coming a little bit later. When I say a little bit later, probably within the month. This is Q1 of 2023.
Yep.
So yeah, we should be going live anytime in Placentia, and then each quarter that goes by, looking to turn up and go live in different zones. So
Okay.
yeah, we're right on the cusp. And if you have not signed up, I believe people are able to pre-order the service so that when it goes live, it's nothing more than an email that says, "Hey, your service is live. Would you like us to go forward with the installation?"
Okay. And just like I would imagine cable or some other thing, there'll be something that runs up to the side of your house and there's a little box or there's something, right?
Yeah. So the
Okay.
process right now is something called micro trenching in the public streets. I won't go into it, but there's a lot of machines that operate like a little choo-choo train. One of which is a blade that cuts in the ground between 8 to 10 inches, somewhere between 12 to 16 inches deep. They'll cut that, lay in the conduit that's going to bring the fiber to your home, cover that up, put a nice sealant on it. But each home receives what they call a lateral, which is a bend that goes over to your edge of your property. So each home that we're passing, they get a lateral that ends there. So if you say, hey, you know what, it's been 8 or 9 months, I'm over this particular company, I'd like to sign up for fiber, they can go back to the nearest cabinet or vault, and then from there, blow the fiber to your home and then bring it directly to you. So it's fiber directly to the home.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Um, And then I'm sure with that process, there's fees or installation or all the usual things and monthly service fees, just like you'd have with any other internet provider.
I'll say yes and no. The great thing is there's a separation. Sci-Fi Networks is actually the builder of the project, right? So we're not actually providing the ultimate internet service to you.
Ah,
So
okay.
our job is to make sure that it's trenched and that every home or business in a public street has the capabilities to be installed with fiber. Once that's there, a resident can say, hey, I want to switch over. Who's the internet service provider? We provide them with that information right now for Placentia. I believe it's Gigabit Now.
Okay.
And from that, Gigabit Now takes over and brings the service to your home. I don't want to I said to make sure there's a clear. I don't want to represent Gigabit Now too much, but
Sure.
they're the ones who handle, the pricing on their end, the speed, so on and so forth. But I can tell you that they are not charging too much as far as the equipment or anything like that. I believe it's free, so I'd look more into it, find
Okay.
as much as you can. Yeah,
Okay. That sounds good. I mean, and it sounds like your background in communication is important because we've got all these different layers and different entities that the consumer has to deal with on getting this product.
yeah.
And you've got to work with the city and various and sundry other agencies and everything else. So obviously, you're the perfect person for this, right?
That's what it said on my resume
Yeah.
at the top.
So tell me a little bit about your job actually with Sci-Fi Networks. Then.
Gotcha. So I do community relations for Sci-Fi Networks, which is a lot of different things. I am the liaison between the city and the residents as far as what's happening with the project, our business, and the residents as far as what's happening with the projects and the residents and all the different stakeholders. So, in a sense, I represent for the business owners and the residents out there, their input, their perspective going back to the project. And from the project, I also represent the informational conduit to make sure that gets back out to the public. So as we're progressing street by street, block by block, I'm making sure people are informed about the project. And if there's any questions, that I get answers back to them. If there's any input that helps us build better going forward, that I bring that also back to the table and say, hey, these are the aches, these are the pains, these are concerns, these are the compliments that's going to help us do better, help us do better all the way to the end of the project.
Now, are you working just specifically with Placentia, or are there other cities across Southern California?
Uh, yeah, so I do community relations nationwide, so for
Oh, wow.
Sci-Fi Network. So we do have several cities in Southern California, but we reach up to Northern California. We're in Arizona, we're in the Midwest now, all the way to the East Coast. So there's at least a dozen cities that are up and running right about now.
Okay. And as you know, with our chamber chats, we're usually talking to people about a business challenge that they have. So for you, having to do community service all across the nation, it sounds like, what's your business challenge?
A great business challenge for something in a larger kind of company I work in, but also dialed down to a small business entrepreneur is resolutions. Because I deal with that a lot of times. People will call in or the email or a phone call where they'll have a problem. My style